Rape. What an ugly word. A word with such a strong negative connotation that I can already see the discomfort on many of your faces after merely just saying it. A word that tells a different story with each and every individual in this room, and whether we want to admit it or not, we've all either seen or heard of someone being raped or sexually assaulted on our campus since we've been in school. But before I dive in, I really want to ask you guys something. What are you doing to help stop this problem, and what more can you be doing? My name is Daniel Stearns, and I'm here with you today to talk about rape culture on college campuses and what we can be doing to stop it. The individual actions that we take before and after these events are crucial in helping eliminate this culture from our college campuses across America. If in turn we acted as a community instead as individuals with our responses, we can help minimize the risks that we put ourselves and others in while taking the precautionary measurements to ensure that this doesn't happen to us or anybody else again. Rape is very different each and every case. So to start off, I'm going to tell you something that happened with me. My third night at Syracuse, I was actually sexually assaulted. I put myself in a position to where I was intoxicated to the point where I don't even really remember what happened. But after a few text messages and images that I saw the next day, my memories started to flash back into my head. And I realized the position that I put myself in and the lack of action I took after only further enabled this problem to keep occurring on our campus. We as individuals can only do so much, but as a community united as a whole, we can actually make a difference and help stop this problem. But to do that, we all have to act united under the same set of conduct and the same set of responses. Many people handle it in many different ways, because many cases are different. But the ways people choose to go about and handle it, while to them might make them feel more emotionally, physically secure, can in turn put more and more people at risk. Certain things that are individual actions that continue to allow this to happen are false accusations, embarrassment to the point where people choose to try and just forget about the situation ever even happening, lack of reporting, and the feeling that people are causing more problems by bringing these cases up than solving them because of embarrassment and gossip and talk that they hear from other people in our community. This lack of awareness and variance of responses and precautionary measures needs to change. For starters, false allegations. As you can see in this chart, the power that false accusations has on actual victims of rape. Well, false accusations only make up this tiny portion. Because those exist, many, if not most, reported rapes are perceived to be false allegations. This gives the perpetrator and abuser ammunition to further embarrass the victim and holds them back from coming out and reporting things because they believe they could be seen as a liar by the community. If we can eliminate that, that's one more step in the right direction for helping eliminate this problem on our campus. A scary number is that 1 in 4 college women experience sexual assault while at school. And in that, those 25% of women go and choose to respond to it in many different ways. But only 4% of those women actually report it. That is a number that is far too small, as a study shows that of these offenders, 63% of them are repeat offenders, and the average of cases that they accumulate is 5.8. So while you may not feel like it's necessary for you to report it, you could be putting another 5, 6, 7, 10 women in a vulnerable position to a person that is proven to be sexually aggressive and will go to those lengths. We need to help protect each other, and by doing it, you must report when something has happened to you. Another issue is our alcohol intoxication as students. 60 to 80% it is estimated of rape and sexually assault incidents occur from date rape circumstances where the person either gets too intoxicated or doesn't remember. And these numbers are shown in the second chart below. Out of the undergraduate women who are sexually assaulted in college, while 34% are physically forced, 57 are under the influence of alcohol or drugs by their own doing, while 4% are given drugs without knowledge. If we want to minimize the risks that we put ourselves in, that 57% number has to drop. We're not helping each other if we allow us and our friends to get intoxicated to the point to where we may not remember something or we can't defend or convey ourselves. Because that brings about the issue of consent and the blurred lines of consent in today's society. We all think of consent as maybe different things, but if it's not yes, it's no. And if we allow these lines of consent to be blurred, victims of rape will actually question if they were raped or if they agreed to it. That uncertainty allows them to feel like there's no need to report something, allowing these abusers and perpetrators to continue to walk free, ruining more and more people's lives, affecting the community in a negative way. But how are we going to stop this? How are we going to end the embarrassment of victims? How are we going to control the circumstances that we put ourselves in to help eliminate this culture from our college campuses for good? It's actually more simple than you think. By following certain guidelines, these 9 guidelines, we can actually, as a community, end this and eliminate this from our campus one day at a time. The first thing is you should never under any circumstance get intoxicated to the point where you can't defend yourself, convey yourself, or don't even remember what happened. That shouldn't be that hard to abide by. Next, you should never take a drink that you did not make or pour yourself. While the number is only 4% of people who are given drugs that aren't aware, you can eliminate that 4% by making sure you make your own drinks, you pour your own drinks, or you bring something that's sealed. The next thing is you should never walk home in a group of less than at least 3 people. This will help keep us all safer. Walking alone, there's no one there to stop somebody. But as a group, you can actually, A, prevent something from happening, and B, have the numbers to fend somebody off. The next is probably the most important guideline. If sexually assaulted or raped, you must report it. Do not feel embarrassed or afraid, because without action or consequence, that person will continue that action to more and more people. What happened to somebody cannot change, but you can help another person not be affected by this and take a criminal and an abuser and an assaulter off the streets. You can make your community better. Well, you can't undo something that's happened to you. You have to be aware that your next actions could help save lives and people. The next, never gossip or talk about somebody else being sexually assaulted. This should be easy. This gossip and talk creates so much embarrassment for the victim, who's already gone through enough. And this makes them feel too uncomfortable to speak out and stand up. We shouldn't be making light out of these events. And we should be coming as a community to help somebody, not further bring them down. The next one is never falsely accuse anybody. Because these false accusations are shown in the diagram, allow the cloud over people's head to question whether a real victim is telling the truth or not. And this uncertainty further allows the person to feel more uncomfortable about reporting these instances. And that's why That's a big part why that the percentage of reports is so low. 4% is a ridiculous number. And these false accusations is another reason why it is so low. The next is a simple code of ethics. If you see something happening, just because it's not happening to you or your friend, stop it. You have the power to help change a situation. An individual might not be able to do something alone. They're too uncomfortable, too nervous. But by stepping in, you can actually help make a difference. And getting towards the end of it, if your friend is too drunk, send them home. They're not in the state to make a decision. They're not in the state to defend themselves. They're putting themselves at risk. You need to help minimize the risk for you, your friends, and other members of the community. And then last, regards consent. If it's not yes, it's no. Understand that. Consent shouldn't be a blurred line. It should be simple. So, by following these simple rules, not only will we minimize the amount of instances that we have, we can over time eliminate them entirely. Now I'll paint a picture for you. You're walking home, it's late at night. You've had a few drinks. You see someone behind you. You don't know who it is or what's happening, but you're nervous. You feel the chills, you start picking up your pace, you're walking, breathing heavy, just to walk home to your dorm to get home safe after a night of fun. You shouldn't be frightened or worried walking home. Now imagine you could walk home laughing with your friends in a group of 3 or more, safe and secure. This is all possible if we follow these simple rules that we should be following to start with. And in doing so, we can create that safer learning environment for us all to enjoy. It shouldn't be this hard. We as a community need to follow these protocols and guidelines to help eliminate this culture from our campuses. We have to make a change. Individually, we're nothing, but together, we stand strong. So, if for some odd reason you can't abide by those 9 simple rules, you are selfish, and you are not only part of the problem, but you're enabling this to continue to not only other people, but for generations to come. When your kids go to school, when your grandkids go to school, all the way to the end of time. So please, I'm begging you, don't continue to be a part of the problem. Be a part of the solution. Stand together as a community in unity in your responses and precautionary measures, and we can help eliminate this disgusting rape culture from our lives. Thank you.